To ensure that they were not wasting their time on their long walks home, they were knitting on the way. Hebrides, the Hebrides is actually the land, literally the land on the edge of the world. So imagine yourself now on the land, on the edge of the world. Also out here and there you'll see the bright pink flowers of the ragged robin. The yellow flag, a very large wind farm here, can you imagine it? 180 huge gigantic turbines to take electricity to the south of England. Wasn't terribly popular, and also for a conservation area probably not the brightest idea, although we all know. He then proceeded to squeeze the hand of his opponent so hard that the blood came from underneath his fingernails, and that was the end of any fight. Now that the sun is coming out, you'll see how that changes the colours very quickly. So that makes it easier to grow things. Yes, the Norse time here was a very, very important time. Almost 500 years the Vikings were here. And in fact the islands belonged to Norway until 1266. When they were given back to Scotland in the Treaty of Perth. Now when you're here for 500 years you have a strong influence, obviously. And in fact here on the right hand side, you can't see it from the road, but there is a Norse mill and kiln been restored here that you can walk to along that little footpath. And you find a lot of the inheritance in place names, like those that end with BOST, which is actually farm. So you sometimes find silver that belonged, they paid with silver that they wore in bracelets on their arms, and you would just snip off whatever the cost was or what they were wanting to buy. And they intermarried with the local women and settled. That has been cut there and lying up to dry. They say that a piece of peat passes through a human hand about 8 times from cutting to fire, meaning it's cut and then lifted and then stacked, turned to dry, maybe turned again, carried home, stacked at home, then put on the fire. So about 8 times, right enough.